Can't hear because of the wind. You want to plant potatoes a foot apart and 3 inches deep, and the rows we're doing 18 inches apart. But the top portion of the garden was kind of hard, so we're probably going to re-till the rest of this a little bit where it rained. And you want to heel them up as they start poking through. So we'll run the tiller through these rows one more time before we hill them up in a couple months, or in a month or so, probably. So before we plant the rest of these Kennebecks, that's what they are, then we're going to till the ground up a little more. The wind is crazy. There's my mom. Here's the seed potatoes we used, and we cut them and let them scab over a little bit for a couple days to prevent rot in the ground. Because you got one potato, you get like 3 or 4 or 2 or more seed potatoes out of one potato. As long as there's about 2 inches of potato, that's enough. Got the garden tilled again, and now we're tilling a deep row for the rest of the potatoes. We're taking this piece of pipe that's been cut to 18 inches, and we're laying it in between the rows so that we have enough room to run the tiller through it. And then we're taking a couple sticks with a string tied to it so that we can make our rows straight. We have decided to cut the plants off of the potatoes because they have began to blight really bad, and I'm pretty sure that it's spreading to my tomato plants. So we're going to cut all of the plants down to the ground, leave the potatoes in the ground for a couple weeks before we dig them, and we're going to burn all of these plants. Then, I've already gotten most of it, I'm cutting all of the blighted leaves off of my tomato plants. I'm going to burn those also, but I'm going to spray the plants after I get the infected leaves off with a bleach solution to try to slow down the spread of the disease, which I think is like bacterial speck blight. But as you can see, these are all blighted. I'm not too sad about having to cut the plants. I'm sad about the blight, but I'm not too sad about having to cut the plants because I've already pulled quite a few potatoes out of the ground, and some of them are huge. So I think we're going to get quite a few potatoes. But once you cut your infected plants, burn them. Do not compost them, because that stays in the soil. And next year we're going to have to move our potatoes and our tomatoes somewhere else. I might move the tomatoes to the middle of the garden and then like have a completely separate potato patch, because even though we have a big garden, we had 76 tomato plants, and I don't know how many potato plants. So I think with that volume, we probably should move the potato patch way across the yard. I think that's what we're going to do next year. What are you doing?
Cold.
You got frost protection built in, huh?
It's like frost protection. It's like a natural beanie.
Here, let me take a picture.
Okay, enjoy it. The beetles aren't liking this too much.
Harvest. So we completely filled this 18-gallon tote, and this isn't all that we have. We have boxes in the building too. I couldn't give you an estimate as to how many we got, but I think if these will keep through the winter, they'll definitely feed us. You know, where we left them in the ground so long, some of them got some holes, and we cut a couple of them with the broad fork digging them up. But we'll probably come through here, get the ones out that have the blemishes on them, maybe run them through the shredder on the food processor and freeze some hash browns. But we'll figure out what we're gonna do. I'm wondering if you can cube them up and freeze them that way.